So here we are. It is getting pretty late and you are still struggling to fall asleep. Well, let me tell you that you are in the right place because nothing is going to help you fall asleep faster than some random geography facts that you will probably never need to know. So go ahead and sit back, relax, and let's learn some geography. Number 1. The Trans-Siberian Railway is the longest railway in the world, stretching 5,700 miles across Russia from Moscow to Vladivostok. Built between 1891 and 1916, this railway connects different parts of Russia, crossing 8 time zones and more than 80 cities. Building it was no joke. Workers had to deal with insane weather, thick forests, and swamps. Many workers suffered from exhaustion and disease, and construction was delayed multiple times due to harsh conditions. Today, it's super important for travel and trade, plus it offers amazing views of mountains, lakes, and forests. It has also become a popular journey for travelers looking to experience Russia's vast and diverse landscapes in a single trip. Number 2. The Philippines have over 7,600 islands, but only about 2,000 are inhabited. It's in the Pacific Ring of Fire, so it gets hit by typhoons, earthquakes, and volcanic eruptions all the time. But despite that, it's famous for its beautiful beaches, diverse wildlife, and rich culture. The biggest island, Luzon, is home to Manila, the capital, while Mindanao and the Visayas also play big roles in the country. Many of the uninhabited islands are untouched, featuring stunning coral reefs and diverse marine life, making them a paradise for divers and explorers. Number 3. The Amazon rainforest is often called the lungs of the earth because it produces 20% of the world's oxygen. It covers 9 countries and is home to over 3 million species of plants and animals, many of which don't exist anywhere else on Earth. Unfortunately, deforestation is a big problem as large areas are being cut down for farming and industry. The rainforest also helps regulate the climate by soaking up a ton of carbon dioxide. Scientists believe that the Amazon has undiscovered species, and some indigenous tribes living deep in the jungle have had little to no contact with the modern world. The Amazon River, which runs through the rainforest, is one of the largest rivers in the world and is home to unique creatures like pink river dolphins and piranhas. Number 4. The hottest temperature ever recorded was 134 degrees Fahrenheit, 57 degrees Celsius, in Death Valley, California, on July 10, 1913. Death Valley is a scorcher thanks to its low elevation and surrounding mountains that trap heat. Even though it's ridiculously hot, some tough plants and animals still manage to thrive here. Every now and then, if it rains, you get a super bloom where flowers cover the desert floor. Despite its extreme heat, Death Valley is a popular tourist attraction, with visitors coming to see the unique landscapes including Badwater Basin, the lowest point in North America, and the striking Mesquite Flat sand dunes. Number 5. The coldest temperature ever recorded was negative 128 degrees Fahrenheit, or negative 89 degrees Celsius, in Antarctica. This was recorded at the Vostok Station on July 21, 1983. This place, run by Russia, is one of the harshest spots on Earth. Antarctica's ice sheets hold about 70% of the world's freshwater, making it a major focus for climate research. Scientists live in research stations here year-round, studying everything from climate change to ancient ice cores that contain trapped air from thousands of years ago. The extreme cold makes it nearly impossible for life to thrive, but some microscopic organisms have adapted to survive in the ice. Number 6. Canada has the longest coastline in the world, stretching over 151,000 miles. It touches the Atlantic, Pacific, and Arctic Oceans, making it a giant in the maritime world. Along its coast, you'll find all kinds of wildlife from polar bears to whales, plus epic landscapes like fjords, glaciers, and forests. The coastline is home to indigenous communities who have lived off the land and sea for thousands of years. Fishing is a major industry in Canada, and the country's coastal waters are also famous for their stunning northern lights, which light up the sky in breathtaking displays. Number 7. The Sahara Desert wasn't always dry. Around 10,000 years ago, it was full of lakes, rivers, and forests. Fossils and ancient cave paintings show that elephants, hippos, and even people lived there. But as the climate changed, the lush land dried up, turning it into the massive desert it is today. Even now, under the sand, there are remnants of ancient rivers and lakes, proving that the region was once fertile. Some scientists believe the Sahara could become green again due to shifting climate patterns over thousands of years. Number 8. Mount Etna in Sicily, Italy is one of the most active volcanoes on Earth. It's been erupting for thousands of years, with records going back to ancient Greece. Etna's eruptions have shaped Sicily's landscape and made the soil super fertile, which is great for growing crops like grapes for wine. Local farmers use the mineral-rich soil for vineyards and orchards, producing some of Italy's finest wines. The volcano is also a major tourist attraction, with guided hikes allowing visitors to get close to its craters. Number 9. The Atacama Desert in Chile is one of the driest places on Earth. Some areas haven't seen rain in centuries. NASA even uses it to test Mars rovers because the conditions are similar to the conditions on Mars. Even though it's incredibly dry, some tiny life forms still manage to survive here. The desert is also home to one of the clearest night skies on the planet, making it an ideal location for the world's most advanced telescopes. Number 10. The Ring of Fire is a horseshoe-shaped zone around the Pacific Ocean that has 75% of the world's active volcanoes. It's also the most earthquake-prone area because of all the tectonic movement. Countries like Japan, Indonesia, and Chile deal with frequent earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. The movement of tectonic plates in this region creates devastating tsunamis, such as the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami and the 2011 Japan earthquake and tsunami. Scientists closely monitor the area to predict future seismic activity and protect people living near the volatile zones. Number 11. Iceland is famous for having no mosquitoes. The country's cold weather and lack of standing water makes it impossible for mosquitoes to survive. Unlike many other countries where these pesky insects thrive in warm, humid conditions, Iceland's freezing winters and constant water flow prevent them from breeding. Scientists believe that even if a mosquito did manage to arrive in Iceland, it wouldn't last long enough in the harsh environment. Additionally, Iceland's strong winds and unpredictable weather make it an inhospitable place for these insects. This mosquito-free status makes outdoor activities in Iceland even more enjoyable, as residents and visitors never have to worry about itchy bites or insect repellent. Number 12. Africa is the only continent in all 4 hemispheres, north, south, east, and west. The equator and prime meridian both pass through it, making it a geographically unique place. This means Africa experiences a variety of climates, from the hot deserts of the north to the tropical rainforests of the center and the cooler regions in the south. Because of this geographical diversity, Africa is home to some of the most unique ecosystems on Earth, from the Sahara Desert to the lush Congo Basin and the wildlife-rich Serengeti. The continent's strategic location also played a major role in trade and early human migration, making it a crucial part of world history. Number 13. Vatican City is the smallest country in the world, covering just 0.17 square miles. Despite its tiny size, it has an enormous influence as the center of the Catholic Church. It is home to St. Peter's Basilica, the Sistine Chapel, and serves as the residence of the Pope. Though it has its own government, it relies heavily on Italy for services like defense and trade. The Vatican also holds some of the world's most valuable historical and religious artifacts, including Michelangelo's famous ceiling paintings in the Sistine Chapel, with its own postal system, radio station, and even a small railway. Vatican City operates as an independent entity, even though it is entirely surrounded by the city of Rome. Number 14. The Leaning Tower of Pisa tilts because the ground beneath it is actually too soft. Built on unstable clay and sand, the foundation started shifting shortly after construction began in the 12th century. Over the years, engineers have worked hard to keep it from falling over completely, and it has now been stabilized enough to remain standing, making it one of Italy's most famous landmarks. The tower's lean has made it one of the most recognizable structures in the world, attracting millions of tourists each year. Despite the tilt, the tower has withstood multiple earthquakes and weather conditions, proving its resilience over centuries. The restoration efforts have successfully reduced its tilt, ensuring that the future generations can continue to marvel at this architectural wonder. Number 15. The Stromboli volcano in Italy has been erupting almost non-stop for 2,000 years, earning it the nickname Lighthouse of the Mediterranean. This small island volcano is known for its regular mild eruptions, which have been documented since ancient Roman times. Its glowing lava is visible from miles away, making it a spectacular natural wonder. Tourists and scientists alike visit Stromboli to witness its near-continuous explosions, which are caused by pressure building up in its magma chambers. The island itself is home to a small population who have adapted to living in close proximity to this active volcano. Despite its frequent eruptions, Stromboli is not considered extremely dangerous, and guided tours allow visitors to safely experience its breathtaking power. Number 16. Africa's Great Rift Valley is slowly splitting the continent apart. This massive crack in the Earth's surface is caused by shifting tectonic plates, and over millions of years, it might form a completely new ocean. The valley is home to incredible landscapes, including deep lakes, active volcanoes, and stunning wildlife. Stretching from the Red Sea down to Mozambique, the Great Rift Valley is one of the most geologically active places on Earth. It has also played a crucial role in human evolution, as fossil discoveries in the area suggest that some of the earliest humans alive lived here. With its dramatic scenery and rich biodiversity, the Great Rift Valley remains a major attraction for scientists, geologists, and adventurers. Number 17. The Alps stretch across 8 European countries, including France, Switzerland, Italy, and Austria. They are famous for breathtaking scenery, world-class skiing, and rich history. These mountains have played a huge role in shaping European cultures, from influencing military strategies in ancient wars to being a hub for outdoor tourism today. Additionally, the Alps provide a vital water source for millions of people as their glaciers and rivers feed into many of Europe's major waterways. Number 18. California's coast is actually moving northwest a few inches every year because of the San Andreas Fault. This tectonic boundary is responsible for some of the most powerful quakes in U.S. history, and experts predict that more major shifts will happen in the future, potentially leading to significant changes in the landscape. The movement of the Pacific and North American plates along the fault line creates frequent seismic activity, affecting cities like Los Angeles and San Francisco. Scientists closely monitor the San Andreas Fault to better predict future earthquakes and minimize their impact. Despite the risks, California's stunning coastline remains one of the most desirable places to live, attracting millions of people every year. Number 19. Point Nemo is the most isolated place on Earth, floating in the Pacific Ocean more than 1,600 miles from the nearest land. It's so remote that astronauts in the International Space Station are often closer to it than any human on Earth. It's also a popular spot for spacecraft to be decommissioned and sent to crash. Named after Captain Nemo from Jules Verne's novel 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, this oceanic pole of inaccessibility is the ultimate definition of isolation. Because of its remoteness, marine life is relatively sparse in the area, and it is one of the least explored regions of the ocean. The space agencies of various countries intentionally send bad satellites and spacecraft to crash into Point Nemo, ensuring they land far from human cities. Number 20. The Namib Desert in Africa is the oldest desert in the world, believed to be over 55 million years old. Its towering sand dunes and unique wildlife, including desert-adapted elephants and beetles that collect water from fog, make it one of the most fascinating places on the planet. The desert's vast dunes, some of the highest in the world, are constantly shifting due to strong winds. Despite its harsh conditions, the Namib is home to resilient creatures like the Namib sand gecko and the Welwitschia plant, which can live for over 1,000 years. The coastal region of the desert also experiences dense fog, which provides a vital water source for many of its inhabitants. The Namib's eerie, otherworldly landscapes have made it a popular filming location for movies set in alien environments. Number 21. Madagascar is home to over 90% of species that don't exist anywhere else, including lemurs, baobab trees, and the fossa. The island separated from mainland Africa around 88 million years ago, creating an isolated environment where plants and animals evolved independently. This has led to an extraordinary level of biodiversity, with species found nowhere else in the world. Lemurs, for example, have developed into over 100 different species, like mort. I don't even know, is mort a lemur? I don't know. But anyway, each adapted to different parts of the island. The unique baobab trees, often called upside-down trees due to their distinctive appearance, can live for over 1,000 years. Conservation efforts are crucial as deforestation and habitat loss threaten Madagascar's wildlife. Number 22. The Mediterranean Sea was almost completely dry about 5 million years ago when a natural dam at the Strait of Gibraltar cut it off from the Atlantic Ocean. Scientists believe that the sea gradually evaporated over thousands of years, leaving behind a vast salt flat. This period, known as the Messinian Salinity Crisis, I'm just reading these, drastically changed the region's climate and landscape. Eventually, around 5.3 million years ago, the dam broke and an enormous flood known as the Zanclean Flood refilled the basin, restoring the Mediterranean to its current form in a matter of months or even days. Number 23. Alaska is the westernmost, easternmost, and northernmost U.S. state because the Aleutian Islands cross the international date line. This unique positioning means that parts of Alaska lie in the eastern hemisphere, making it the only U.S. state that spans across hemispheres. Additionally, it has the highest mountain in North America, Denali, which rises 20,000 feet above sea level. Alaska's vast wilderness, glaciers, and extreme climate make it one of the most unique places in the world. Number 24. New Zealand was once part of Zealandia, a lost continent that's mostly underwater now. Zealandia was a huge landmass, roughly half the size of Australia, that started sinking around 85 million years ago due to tectonic activity. Today, 93% of Zealandia remains submerged, with only a few areas like New Zealand and New Caledonia remaining above sea level. The region is of great interest to geologists as studying Zealandia helps scientists understand continental drift and how Earth's land masses have shifted over time. Number 25. Mongolia has more horses than people, and huge parts of the country are just empty land. With a population of just 3.3 million spread over 600,000 square miles, Mongolia has one of the lowest population densities in the world. The country's vast grasslands are home to nomadic herders who have maintained traditional ways of life for centuries. Mongolian horses, known for their endurance and resilience, are vital to daily life, used for transportation. Number 26. The Amazon River has no bridges. This is because it's too wide and runs through mostly rainforest. Stretching over 4,000 miles, the Amazon River is one of the longest rivers in the world, second only to the Nile. Its basin covers 40% of South America, and much of the region is covered by dense jungle, making road construction extremely difficult. Instead of bridges, people rely on things like boats, ferries, and small planes to travel across and along the river. Number 27. The deepest hole ever dug is Russia's Kola super deep borehole, reaching 7.5 miles down. Scientists started drilling in 1970 to learn more about the Earth's crust, but as they went deeper, they encountered temperatures of over 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which made further drilling impossible. Despite its incredible depth, the borehole only penetrated about 0.2% of Earth's total depth to the core. One of the most exciting discoveries was microscopic fossilized plankton found deep underground, suggesting that life existed in ancient rocks. Number 28. The Pan American Highway is the longest road in the world, but there's a 60-mile gap in Panama called the Darien Gap, where no road exists. The highway stretches from Alaska to Argentina, covering nearly 19,000 miles, but the Darien Gap remains an untouched wilderness filled with dense jungle, swamps, and dangerous wildlife. The lack of roads is partially due to environmental concerns and the difficulty of construction, as well as the fact that the region is home to indigenous communities who have resisted the development. Number 29. Canada has more lakes than every other country combined. That's over 3 million lakes that Canada has. About 9% of Canada's land is covered in fresh water, including some of the world's largest lakes like Lake Superior, Lake Huron, and Great Bear Lake. These lakes are vital for ecosystems, support fisheries, and provide drinking water for millions of people. St. Lawrence Seaway is a major shipping route that connects the Atlantic Ocean to the interior of North America, allowing the movement of goods between Canada and the U.S. Number 30. The Everglades in Florida is the only place on Earth where alligators and crocodiles live together. This vast wetland covering 1.5 million acres is home to both freshwater and saltwater ecosystems. This allows both American alligators and American crocodiles to coexist. The Everglades is also home to a variety of unique wildlife, including manatees, panthers, and wading birds. Number 31. There is a giant patch of garbage floating in the Pacific Ocean that is twice the size of Texas. It's called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, and it is located between Hawaii and California. It contains millions of tons of plastic waste, much of it made up of microplastics that are nearly impossible to clean up. These plastics harm marine animals as fish, turtles, and seabirds mistakenly eat the debris, often leading to death. Scientists and environmentalists are working on ways to reduce plastic pollution and clean up the patch using innovative technology like ocean cleaning drones and floating barriers. So that's all the facts I have for today. Hopefully you were able to fall asleep and are having the best dream of your life by now. That's the end of this video, but if you are still awake, feel free to watch another one and try again. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Good night, everyone. Sweet dreams.